So, namaste and welcome to the recap of day 5, and where we had done from section 175 to 179. Yeah, 175 to 179 we have done. So, 175, passing of resolution by circulation, and in this a resolution will be sent to all the directors along with necessary documents, and it will be normally sent by email. Now it's all email trend, and unless we get the approval of the majority of the required quorum and all, it is not taken as passed. So this is what happens in resolution by circulation under section 175. It eases out holding all shareholder directors meetings and all that. That is really very helpful. And where not less than 1/3 of the total number of directors require that any resolution be decided at a meeting, then the chairperson will put the resolution at a meeting. So in case of directors state that we need to take this resolution at the meeting, let us discuss across the table and then pass out the resolution. In that case, the decision will be taken on the basis of the resolution will be taken at the meeting and not through circulation. And then we have rule 5 for that, that is passing of resolution by circulation. That is, a draft resolution will be circulated to the directors together with necessary papers for seeking their approval by electronic means, including email or fax. Then we have section 176, that is defects in directors appointment, and section 176, which discusses about defects in directors of appointment, is that in case any director's appointment is found to be invalid, then what will happen? Then all the decisions taken by the director, all the activities done by the director before we came to know are all valid. Once we come to know that the director's appointment was invalid, it was defective, then after that period, after knowing that, director should immediately vacate the office. He should not carry out any actions, and any action taken by him will be invalid. So that's what is about defects in director's appointment. And then we have section 177, audit committee. That's a favorite section for everyone. And so 177, we remember, is 777, two lame people holding a stick, and these two lame people are asking a lot of questions, and these are audit committee members. Yes, they ask a lot of questions. And so a quick recap from audit committee perspective, that every listed company needs to have audit committee. Along with that, every company which is a public limited company, even though they are unlisted, but if they fulfill the criteria of 10, 100, 50, then they need to have audit committee. And what is this 10, 100, 50? 10, 100, 50 is 10 crores of paid up capital, or 100 crores of 10 crores of paid up capital, or 100 crores of turnover, or 50 crores of OLBDD. So what is this OLBDD? That is outstanding loans, borrowings, debentures and deposits. In case of independent directors, it's again 10, 150, and the 51 is outstanding LDD. That is outstanding loans, debentures, deposits. Borrowings are not there in that. However, in this case, we have borrowings also. So that's the criteria requirement for audit committee in unlisted public companies. And minimum there should be 3 directors, and independent director must be majority. And majority members of the audit committee, in fact, I would personally say everybody should be financially literate. Those who are in audit committee, they should understand financial figures and all, balance sheet, profit and loss and all. And section 8 companies do not need independent directors to be in majority. And the terms of reference of audit committee is RR Save Me. RR Save Me is R is recommendation for appointment, remuneration in terms of auditors. Second R is review on and monitor auditors' independence and performance. Then we have S. S is scrutiny of intercorporate loans and investments. That will be done by auditors. So they will scrutinize all loans and investments. Then we have A is approval of transactions with related parties. So all related party transactions will be approved by auditors, audit committee primarily. And then we have A, V is valuation of undertakings or assets of the company. E, examination of financial statements. And M, monitoring the end use of funds raised through public offers. And E is evaluation of internal financial controls and risk management. So that's all about audit committee. What are the things that they are supposed to carry out? And so that's RR Save Me. RR Save Me is what audit committee is required to carry out. That's terms of reference. And audit committee calls for the comments of auditors about internal control system, scope and audit and review of financial system. Further, auditors and KMP have a right to be heard in the meetings of audit committee, but they will not have any right to vote at the meeting. And board's report shall disclose the composition of audit committee, and where board has not accepted any recommendation of the audit committee, the same shall be disclosed along with the reasons also. And the amendment, that is of LODR amendment regulations, it has widened the role of audit committee by requiring a view of utilization of loans and borrowings. Now it's not only review of the money that has been received during public offers and all that, but also review loans and advances from investment by the holding company in subsidiary exceeding 100 crores or 10% of the asset size of the subsidiary, whichever is lower. And this requirement is also applicable to loans, advances, investments existing as on 1st April 2019. So that's what is all about audit committee. Plus we also have vigil mechanism required, and further omnibus approval of audit committee is required to be done. And omnibus approval that is related to related party transactions, they will give a blanket approval which will have the maximum value of transactions in aggregate, maximum value per transaction, extent and manner of disclosures to be made to the audit committee, review of related party at certain intervals by the audit committee will be done as they find fit, and transactions which cannot be subject to omnibus approval by audit committee also have been provided. So this is what is all about. Like, related party transactions are required to be approved by audit committee. If they are done on routine basis, then they'll give an omnibus blanket approval. That's what we had discussed last time. And yes, I checked up, it's 1 crore per transaction as it was stated last time, and not 100 crores. And vigil mechanism, which is very important, which is also known as City Bajao, that is whistleblower policy. And whistleblower policy or vigil mechanism is required, and normally the audit committee chairman is going to head this vigil mechanism. So any problems are there, any problems are happening in the company, embezzlement of funds or some malpractices are going on in the company, and it is possible the directors are involved or some other senior members are involved, and people cannot inform and cannot talk about it, so they may directly inform the head of the vigil mechanism. And the companies which accept deposits, so every listed company and following class of companies to report their genuine concerns and grievances, that is the companies which have accepted deposits from public, the companies which have borrowed money from banks and public financial institutions in excess of 50 crores. Now we feel कि bank से पैसा लिया, public financial institutions से पैसा लिया, why? What is the need? Ultimately it's all जनता का पैसा, it's all जनता public deposits with bank, and bank gives to companies. So ultimately the money involved is of जनता public, and that's why they want vigil mechanism even in these companies. And then companies required to constitute an audit committee, oversee vigil mechanism. And so that's all about vigil mechanism. And then I have also added risk management, which has been just touched base on in section 134, but nothing in detail has been discussed about risk management, RMC, in the Companies Act. And there we need to bring something in Companies Act also. However, we have in LODR amendment regulations, so I have reflected over here after audit committee, that is RMC is required by top 500 listed companies, and top 500 listed company means those whose market cap is amongst top 500, determined as at the end of the immediate previous financial year. And it introduces a function of the RMC to also specially cover cyber security. With the increase in cyber crimes, we need to take care of cyber security. Our website should not be hacked and all that. And NRC and SRC, that is the next section we did, 179, nomination and remuneration committee and stakeholders relationship committee. When NRC is required, again 1050 criteria is required, and there should be no non-executive, there should be only non-executive directors. No executive directors can be there in NRC, and at least half of them should be independent directors. and NRC recommend to the board appointment and removal and shall specify the manner for effective evaluation of board performance along with committee's performance, individual directors' performances and all. And they may also outsource this work of performance, board evaluation and all that to an external agency also. That is also possible. And further, NRC will also consider now, as per the amendment regulations, they will also first of all the quorum for nomination committee, NRC committee shall have at least 2 members and 1/3 of the members of the committee, whichever is greater, with at least 1 independent director present at the meeting of NRC. So we are noticing board meeting में an independent director present होना ही चाहिए. Then we see NRC, 1 independent director must be present. So independent directors' presence in meetings and committee meetings is becoming very important, which is also inculcating corporate governance, I would say. And further, NRC is required to meet at least once in a year, and they will also take care of senior management. So even they will evaluate the salary, the remuneration which is being given to senior management, and senior management will be 1 level below CEO, MD or whole-time director or manager, including CS and CFO also. Further, amendment to the role of NRC of the board of listed entities amended to include recommendations to be made to the board for any payments being done to the senior management. And further, in order to strengthen the disclosures on board evaluation, observations of board evaluation carried out for the year, all these things are now required to be reported in the board report. So what were the observations of the last year board evaluation? Then previous year's observation and actions taken. So what is done in this year, last year, and what are the proposed actions on current year's observations. So this board evaluation, directors evaluation, committee evaluation, whatever performance evaluation is done, everything is now also presented to the shareholders through board report. And then we have SRC when company has more than 1000 SDDS. So what is this SDDS? It's 1000 shareholders, debenture holders, deposit holders or any other security holders. Then they need to have SDD, and the chairperson will be NED. Now in case of NRC committee, the chairman of the board cannot be chairman of NRC. Even though he is non-executive, he can be a member if he is a non-executive director. However, he cannot be chairperson of NRC. And in this case, SRC, NED, that is non-executive director only, can be the chairperson. Further, the chairperson of each of the committees must attend the meetings. And then we have, even in this case, amendment regulations have specified that they should meet at least once in a year and at least 1 independent director. So there they have introduced that the requirements to have at least 3 directors in SRC, and at least 1 of them should be independent director, and they should also meet at least once in a year, that is SRC. And the current role of SRC comprises considering and resolving grievances of security holders and all, and they will review the measures taken for effective exercise of voting rights of the shareholders, and also review the adherence to the service standards adopted by R&T agents and all. And after that, and plus, they will also review various measures and initiatives taken by listed company for reducing the quantum of unclaimed dividends and ensuring timely receipts of dividend warrants, annual reports, statutory notices to the shareholders, etc. Plus, chairperson of the SRC will now be required to be present at AGM to answer queries of security holders. So that is, again, we need a security holder to be present. The chairman of the committees to be present at the meeting, at the shareholders meeting. And then we also discussed about section 179. There's a table which we have discussed last time also. A bird's view of the table has been we have made. And in case we have special voting right shares, then in that case, special voting right shares, all independent, in case of audit committee, all members should be independent directors. In case of NRC, 2/3 should be independent director. In case of SRC, 2/3 should be independent directors. So that's all required in case of when special voting right shares are issued, and at least half of the board should be independent directors when special voting right shares are issued plus at least 2/3 of the risk management committee shall comprise of independent directors. So when special voting right shares are there, all these additional requirements are also there. Then we discussed about section 179, that is powers of board and its restrictions. So powers of board, that is call, buyback securities, borrow, invest, loans, adato, PKR. That's what the powers of board are, the shortcut. And we have to remember that. So call, buyback, issue of securities, borrow, you make borrowings, invest funds in different companies, grant loans, guarantee security, approve financial statements and board report. Adato is approving financial statements and board report. D, diversify the business of the company, approve. Then adato, A, is approval of arm. What is this? Approval of arm, amalgamation, reconstruction, merger. All these decisions should be done at the board meeting itself. Take over or acquire other company, and that is T, and O is any other matters which have been prescribed, and the ones which have been prescribed are PKR. What is this PKR? That is in case of making political contributions, appointment of any or removal of any KMP, and appointment of internal auditors and secretarial auditors also needs to be taken at the board meeting. It should not be done by circular resolution. So these are the few items which have been as per section 179. Read with rule 8 is all about powers of board. Now, so that's the recap of day 5.